The most transformative conversation you'll ever have is the person staring back at you in the mirror. Today we're diving into practice of mirror work, a simple yet profound way to heal your relationship with yourself and unlock radical self-awareness. Mirror work is seeing the raw, unfiltered you, and speaking words of love, truth, and encouragement. It's about stripping away the mask and meeting yourself exactly where you are, without judgment. It isn't just a feel-good exercise, it's a profound act of self-connection. The concept was popularized by Louise Hay, a pioneer in self-love and affirmations, who believed that the foundation for all transformations begins with the relationship we have with ourselves. She taught that the most direct way to access the relationship to truly know, accept, and love ourselves is by facing our own reflection. Because here's the thing, the mirror does not lie. It won't flatter you to keep you comfortable. It won't filter out the pain you've been carrying. It reflects exactly where you are emotionally. If you've been avoiding grief, you'll see it in your eyes. If you've been slightly battling self-doubt, it will show in your expression. And while that can feel comforting, it's also the very reason mirror work is so powerful. It's one of the few tools that can bypass the mind's defense and take you straight to the heart of the truth. Through it, you can uncover hidden wounds, dismantling the beliefs that have been keeping you small, and begin to rewrite the way you speak and see yourself. It's not about changing what's in the mirror, it's about changing the way you experience what's in the mirror. And when you do that, you start to heal from the inside out. How mirror work reveals your inner dialogue. When you stand in front of the mirror and you truly look into your eyes, something shifts. It's not like glancing at yourself when you're brushing your teeth or passing a store window. This is different. It's intentional, still, and piercing in the most revealing way. And in that stillness, you start to hear things you didn't even know you were saying to yourself. That little voice in your head, that one that usually hides behind the noise of your day, it gets really loud. Sometimes it's obvious. It might whisper, "You look tired," or "You're not enough." Sometimes it's subtle, a sigh, a sinking feeling in your stomach, a desire to look away. And at other times, it says nothing at all, but the silence feels heavy, almost like a wall between you and yourself. The mirror has uncanny ability to act like a magnifying glass for your subconscious. It reflects more than your outer appearance. It reflects your beliefs, your emotional state, and the way you've been relating to yourself for years. You might notice the way that your shoulders tense, the micro-expressions that flash across your face, or how quickly you break eye contact when something uncomfortable comes up. These are clues to the story you've been carrying quietly in the background. Story about your worth, your beauty, your abilities, your lovability. Many of these beliefs were formed long before you were even aware of them, shaped by childhood experiences, past relationships, and societal conditioning. Mirror work does not just help you hear these benefits, it gives you the chance to respond to them. To interpret the old script, to look at yourself and say, "I see you, I hear you, and I choose something new." Because once you're aware of what's been running the show, you get to decide, do these beliefs stay or do they go? The emotional layers of mirror work. Here's the thing about mirror work, it's not always pretty. In fact, some days it can feel incredibly uncomfortable. The moment you commit to really looking at yourself, you might notice a wave of emotions running to the surface. Shame, guilt, sadness, even anger. These aren't random feelings. They're emotions you've likely been carrying for years, maybe even decades, and the mirror has a way of calling them forward. It's like your reflection says, "Hey, we've been holding on to this for a long time. Can we finally talk about it?" For many of us, it's easier to stay busy, to keep moving, to avoid the stillness where those emotions live. But when you stand here and truly face yourself, there's nowhere for them to hide. And that's where the real magic begins. Because the fact that these emotions are coming up means they're ready. They're not here to punish you. They're here because they want to be acknowledged, felt, and finally released. This is where compassion becomes essential. Not just the fluffy surface level kind, but the deep, unconditional self-compassion. The kind where you can look into your eyes and say, "I see you. I accept you. I forgive you." You might even speak to the parts of yourself that you were judged or rejected. The younger you who didn't know better. The version of you who made mistakes. the you who's been silently carrying pain. The mirror becomes a sacred space, a container where you can witness yourself without turning away. You're not there to fix anything in that moment. You're there to hold space for what's real. And when you allow yourself to do that, something softens. A layer of self-protection starts to melt. That's when true healing begins. Not because you forced it, because you were willing to meet yourself exactly where you are. Practical steps to begin mirror work. If you're brand new to mirror work, the most important thing to remember is to start simple. This is not about performing or forcing a big breakthrough. It's about creating a gentle, consistent practice that feels safe enough for you to show up every day. Here are some steps to follow. Step 1. Choose your space. Find somewhere quiet where you won't be interrupted. It could be your bathroom, your bedroom, or even a small handheld mirror you use in a cozy corner. The key is privacy and comfort. Step 2. Ground yourself before you begin. Take a deep breath in, exhale slowly, and allow your shoulders to drop. If you feel tension in your body, shake it out or place your hand over your heart for a moment. This signs to your nervous system that you are safe. Step 3. Make gentle eye contact with yourself. Think of it like looking into the eyes of someone you love or someone you're learning to love. If holding your gaze feels too intense at first, you can glance away and come back, building up to longer moments of time. Step 4. Speak one loving statement to yourself out loud. This could be as simple as, I'm learning to love and accept myself exactly as I am. You can also try, I am safe in my body, or I am worthy of love just by being me. The words you choose should feel personal and true to the part of you that needs to hear them most. Step 5. Keep it short. 1 or 2 minutes is plenty when you're just starting out. The goal is consistency, not duration. As you get more comfortable, you could add more affirmations, express gratitude for parts of yourself, or even speak directly to your inner child, saying the words they always needed to hear. It can also be incredibly helpful to keep a journal nearby. After each session, write down anything that surfaced. An emotion, a memory, a thought, or even resistance you felt. Over time, you'll notice patterns, and those patterns become invitations for deeper healing work. Remember, there's no perfect way to do mirror work. Some days you'll feel strong and confident, and other days you might cry and feel disconnected. Both are equally valid. What matters most is that you keep showing up, because every time you meet yourself in the mirror, you're strengthening the most important relationship you've ever had. That's the one with you. I want to share a personal moment with you because I think it's important to know that this practice doesn't always feel magical at first. The very first time I tried mirror work, I could barely last 15 seconds before my eyes welled up with tears. And they weren't just random tears, they came from somewhere deep. It hit me that I hadn't truly looked at myself, really looked, in years. I saw the exhaustion in my face, the sadness I'd been carrying, and the way my gaze would dart away the moment things felt too raw. I realized I'd been going through life only catching glimpses of myself, but never slowing down enough to meet myself. It was like coming face to face with a stranger who I used to know. But here's the thing, I keep coming back, even if it felt awkward, even when I didn't believe the words I was saying, and over time, those moments of discomfort started to shift. The mirror became less of a place of judgment and more of a place of connection. I started to see the person I was becoming, not just the mistakes I had made or the versions of me that I was trying to outrun. I've seen this happen with others too. A friend of mine had gone through a really painful breakup. She felt heavy with blame, blaming herself, blaming the other person, blaming the timing of life. I suggested she tried mirror work, and she decided to use it to practice forgiveness. She told me that every morning for a month she stood in the mirror in front of her reflection and said, I forgive you. At first it felt hollow, but slowly the words began to land. She told me one day with tears in her eyes, looking in the mirror and saying, I forgive you, it changed my life. It felt like setting myself free. That's the thing about mirror work. It's not just about affirmations or self-esteem boosts. It's about reclaiming your ability to see yourself with truth and compassion, common challenges and how to overcome them. If you feel silly, self-conscious, or resistant to the mirror work, congratulations. You're not doing it wrong. You're just human. Almost everyone feels this way in the beginning because most of us aren't used to holding our own gaze for more than a fleeting second. One of the biggest challenges people face is that initial wave of awkwardness. Your brain might start throwing out thoughts like, "This is weird. Why am I doing this?" Or, "I can't take myself seriously right now." That's okay. The discomfort is simply your mind adjusting to a new way of relating to yourself. Another challenge is the tendency to go straight into self-critique. You might notice a wrinkle, a blemish, or an expression you don't like, and your inner critic will want to pounce. When this happens, just pause. Take a deep breath. Gently remind yourself, that's not why I'm here. I am here to connect, not judge. For some people, the biggest hurdle isn't criticism, it's emotion. You might be surprised by tears, a lump in your throat, or even anger bubbling up. Instead of trying to push those feelings away or cover them with forced positivity, give them space. Mirror work isn't about pretending everything is okay. It's about creating a safe space where what's real can be acknowledged. One practical tip is to start with breathing before you speak. Stand or sit in front of the mirror, make eye contact, and just breathe together with yourself. Notice how it feels to hold the connection without saying a word. When you're ready, add a single gentle affirmation. And remember this, consistency is more important than perfection. Even 2 minutes a day will start to rewire the way you see and speak to yourself. Some days will feel powerful and other days will feel flat. Both are normal. The real magic comes from showing up for yourself over and over again until the person in the mirror feels less like a stranger and more like a trusted friend. Advanced mirror work practices. Once you feel at ease with the basics of mirror work, making eye contact, speaking affirmations, and sitting with your emotions, you can begin to take the practice to deeper, more transformative levels. One of the most profound ways to do this is by speaking directly to your inner child. When you look into your reflection, imagine you're seeing a younger version of yourself. Maybe it's you at age 5, or at a time in your life when you felt unseen, unsafe, or unworthy. Speak to them as if you would to a child you deeply love and want to protect. Tell them what they always needed to hear. You are safe now. You are so loved, and none of what happened to you was your fault. This can be incredibly healing because it begins to rewire the old emotional imprints you've been carrying since childhood. Another advanced layer is shadow integration. Your shadow includes the parts of yourself you judged, hidden, or denied. Maybe anger, vulnerability, ambition, or sensitivity. These traits often hold gifts because they were once shamed or rejected. You learn to hide them. In the mirror brings these parts into the light. You might say, I see the part of me that feels jealous and I choose to understand you. Or I see the part of me that's afraid and I'm here for you. Instead of pushing these aspects away, you invite them back into wholeness. You can lead to a deeper sense of self-acceptance and personal power. Finally, you can amplify the effects of mirror work by pairing it with somatic and energetic practices. Breath work is a beautiful option. Use slow, deep breathing to calm your nervous system before speaking to yourself. EFT tapping can release emotional charge while reinforcing your affirmation. When you combine mirror work with these deep practices, it becomes more of a self-love ritual, becomes a gateway into emotional freedom, self-reclamation, and a level of self-trust that radiates into every area of your life. The science of self-reflection and neuroplasticity. Let's start with the science behind why mirror work actually changes the way you think and feel. When you look at your own reflection and speak intentionally to yourself, you're engaging multiple parts of your brain at once. Your visual cortex, your auditory processing centers, and your emotional regulation systems. This multi-sensory engagement makes the experience more powerful than simply thinking or writing an affirmation. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself on new thoughts, behaviors, and experiences. Every time you pair eye contact with positive, compassionate self-talk, you're strengthening new neural pathways that support self-worth, self-acceptance, and emotional safety. Over time, these new pathways start to replace the old ones that were built on self-criticism and self-doubt. In other words, mirror work isn't just a feel-good ritual. It's literally reshaping your brain to support a healthier relationship with yourself. The emotional impact of affirmations and self-recognition. Now let's talk about what happens emotionally when you acknowledge yourself in the mirror. We live in a world where we're constantly looking outward for validation through likes, comments, compliments, or approval from others. Mirror work flips that dynamic. It asks you to become the source of your own recognition. When you speak affirmations while holding your own gaze, you're sending your nervous system a powerful message. I see you, you matter, and you're enough. That's not just emotional fluff. It creates a psychological shift, lowering stress hormones like cortisol and activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for feelings of calm and safety. The simple act of saying I'm proud of you to yourself can fill emotional needs that you may have been chasing in other people for years. And when you give yourself that recognition consistently, you stop needing it as much from the outside, which is an incredible feeling. How seeing yourself can dissolve internalized shame. One of the most profound benefits of mirror work is its ability to break down internalized shame. Shame thrives in the dark. It grows in spaces where we hide, where we avoid looking at ourselves. When we carry shame, we often avoid our own gaze because deep down we've attached our worthiness to mistakes, failures, or parts of ourselves we've judged as unacceptable. But when you practice looking in your own eyes with compassion, something shifts. At first, the shame might feel louder. You might hear that inner critic trying to keep you small. But the more you show up, and the more you create a new experience, one where you can face yourself and still be loved. Over time, this dissolves the power that shame has over you. You begin to understand that you're not the things that happen to you. You're not your worst moments, and you're not unworthy of love. Mirror work gives you the chance to witness yourself as a whole, even with your imperfections, and that's when shame starts to lose its grip. Before we close today, I want to leave you with a few key takeaways to carry with you as you step into your own mirror work practice. First, mirror work isn't about vanity. It's about intimacy with yourself. It's about learning to meet your own eyes and say, I'm here with you no matter what. That level of self-connection can transform how you move through the world. Because when you have that solid relationship with yourself, everything else becomes secondary. Second, holding eye contact with yourself is one of the most powerful ways to dismantle shame and self-rejection. Shame makes us want to hide from others and from ourselves. But when you can look yourself in the eyes with compassion, you start to break that pattern. It's like telling your nervous system, we don't need to hide anymore. We're safe here. Over time, this creates a sense of self-trust that radiates into your relationships and your work and your sense of purpose. Third, you don't need to spend hours in front of the mirror to see results. Even 2 or 3 minutes a day can dramatically shift your self-perception. Think of it like a daily vitamin for your soul. Small, consistent doses that build up over time. The more you show up, the stronger the internal connection becomes. And finally, if you feel uncomfortable at first, that's not a sign you're failing. It's actually a sign you're doing the work. That discomfort means you're stepping outside of old patterns and into a space of deeper honesty. Lean into it. Let it be awkward. Let it be emotional. Because on the other side of that discomfort is a level of self-love and self-acceptance you may have never experienced before. So as you move forward, remember, this is about progress, not perfection. Show up for yourself, meet your own eyes, and let the person staring back at you know that they're worth every ounce of love and compassion you have to give. All right, beautiful souls. Now that you've heard the why, the how, and the deeper layers of mirror work, it's time to take this from theory into practice. I want to invite you into a simple challenge. For the next 7 days, give yourself just 2 minutes a day in front of the mirror. No distractions and no rushing. Make gentle eye contact with yourself and speak one loving statement out loud. It could be, I'm learning to love and accept myself exactly as I am. Or, I am worthy of my own love and care. Pay attention to what comes up, the emotions, the thoughts, even the resistance. If you can, keep a small journal nearby to capture those moments. You might be surprised at the patterns you start to see and the shifts that begin to happen, even in a single week. And I would love to hear about your experience. Send me a message, tag me in your story, and let's celebrate our wins and hold space for your breakthrough together. And in our next episode, we're going to step into a topic that often surrounds by mystery and misinformation, the law of attraction. Probably heard the hype. Just think positive and your dreams will magically appear. But is that really how it works? We'll break down the myths, uncover the deeper truths, and talk about what actually creates lasting results. You'll walk away with a clear understanding of how to align your energy, your actions, and your mindset so the law of attraction works for you in real life, not just in theory. Until then, remember, the relationships you have with yourself is the foundation for everything else. Nurture it, honor it, and watch how it transforms the way you move through the world.